Hello. I just remembered I forgot something. I remembered that I forgot something. And so I will remember to remember the thing. What thing, you ask? I forgot to remember the thing that includes our jungle sounds. Because, yeah, und dies ist jungle. Yeah? So along with all the usual, let me get my stuff together. There's that. Yeah? Yeah, I'm gonna try something, and well, I'm trying multiple things and trying to make sure it works out. Uh, let's do a check. Yeah, that's a good check. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome to lurk. I'm going to work on the game. There's been some progress in the game. Excited about the game. I'm running all around doing tricks because the game is fun. We run into so wow! But I completed a part of the game that I wanted to do, which was a, a procedural story system. Sounds way more fancy than it really is. It really just is the Mad Libs that we do before a player goes into a challenge. So if they play the game, you can't play challenges when you are not signed in. Oh, who do we have here? Doggo? Yeah, this is chat's account. Yeah, Doggo. Um, when you go into a campaign, you have a little story that sets up the challenge you need to do against an opponent. If only Princess Donut Hassel would use their magic powers for good. Instead, they've ruined the first day of love season by turning the dancing sash of the maiden into a pile of sand. Now the tree nymphs are helpless. Now you can ignore them or you can help them. Now if you help them, you go into a battle against Princess Donut Hassel, you see? So it's not much more than setting up a core gameplay loop, but the significant part is that you're going to be tracking progress along a longer challenge than just one match. Because you need to win this match, and then you need to win, the next one, subsequent matches until the end of the campaign, which is a series of challenges with ending in a boss. Now, that's one of the things we're going to talk about today because they are all the same. They are literally just hooking into the same core gameplay loop with the same AI. So they aren't actually harder, and a boss needs to be harder. So we got work to do because one of the things that we wanted to do with this recent effort over the last week was ensure that the core gameplay loop had some extra reasons to keep playing. Um, One was the profile you could make and the stats that you could save, like your experience and levels, the icon, the color. This is your personalization, so there's some reason to continue on your journey as Doggo in this case. Right? Um, I didn't want to skip over the idea that you're also meant to discover emergent gameplay in the core loop um, as you continue playing. Yeah. So yeah, along with leveling up and getting experience and all this stuff, this post-match pop-up does continue that theme and give you more reason to do this. I really need to look at win percentage because I'm quite certain this is incorrect. Um, did some testing yesterday and noticed that there was an issue, and then looked at the code and realized, oh, there's probably more than one issue, so I'm going to deal with that today as well. Okay, so here we are. We've leveled up, yay. But we return. There's no option to do anything like normally you could replay and just do another loop. But we are in a campaign. Therefore, Princess Donut Hassle has been defeated, and we go back. And here's the completion of the story. Challenge complete. The magic spell has been lifted, and the dancing sash of the maiden rises again from the pile of sand. You see how this completes it resolves the issue, right? Princess Donut Hassle has learned their lesson, and the tree nymphs are reveling now in the first day of love season. Now that the first day of love season is back on schedule. You see, there was a jumble of things, but when you come back, the jumble of things is resolved. And the big change, frankly, is how these people feel. The tree nymphs are reveling now. Before, they were sad or despondent or unhappy, whatever. They are no longer feeling bad. And we talked about the psychology of this last time. So now we got a new campaign because we completed the previous one. And that is something else that I want to deal with. So you get a campaign. We're going to get rid of these buttons too. I don't think we need to generate new campaigns anymore. I'm satisfied these are fine. 1 to 4 stages and potentially multiple matches per stage. Yeah, this is fine. But when you complete a campaign and you go back, I want another pop-up here saying, wow, you did great completing that campaign. Here's some extra experience. And I want you to have this special thing. Now, we've been working towards this special thing. And it was sort of leading us to realize, oh, we're a card collecting deck building game. But because our core gameplay is all about 50 cards that you use in battle and blah blah, these are cards. Well, wait a minute. Am I also collecting cards? Are these those cards? Do I collect different cards? How are they? What do we call those cards? Like, it's just confusing. The last thing I want to do is confuse a new player. And so I've been saying our collection stuff really cannot be cards. We have to find something else. And so I was thinking maybe talismans, gems, special stones, even magic spells in a book, maybe something, because you're going to use these in battle. They're going to do some dramatic thing in battle because you, the general, sending your troops into battle, are going to be able to do something to affect this battle, maybe even affect the cards, like resurrect them or heal them or power them up or something. In this mode of the gameplay, you're just sitting there watching, but I think it's going to be much better to dip into your collection of goody things, whatever they are, and do some magic, do some special ability, cause some major event, make something big happen on the battle. You are the general. You're not the soldiers. You're not these cards that are forces and creatures and whatever. You are controlling them. You're not them. So you were able to set the formation, set the marching orders and such. But having an extra power now to do something special now maybe once per round. Maybe you have one or two or three of these available for the entire match, and you can select one and use it during these phases of the game. Not necessarily these phases, I'm thinking. Like this setup part is one thing, but it's already very busy. I'm already very much involved thinking about this stuff, like as much as I want to be involved. This phase, however, is almost totally passive. We did implement the marching orders again, so you could do something. Once the battle is engaged, you could change your marching orders, but this is difficult to manage and pay attention to what's going on. And it doesn't feel like it has much effect. I'm almost ready to say that the dominant strategy is least health, and that's all there is. I'm almost ready for that. Instead, I want to say, here you go, player. You've collected special things, and now that you're in a new match, why don't you use those special things here, right now, and do something like resurrect a card that just died, heal your cards, cause a massive lightning storm on the other side of the battlefield, or something, right? Those are big effects, and they should be silly, just like these forces and names and creatures and things. Just as silly as anything else, like the story and stuff. But it's something big that is impactful, something that will be, um, that could potentially turn the tide of battle, that could be collected and used. If you have a collection of these things, you can use it in a battle, and then you keep it. You still have it for another match later on. You can't use it in this match again. You can use it once per match. But if you keep collecting these things, you're going to have more and more things that you can use, and they're special and they're cool, and you like getting them. You're looking forward to getting the next one. You're looking forward to using them, which is like the whole point. We're trying to get to a place where the player wants to do more of this core gameplay loop. So to give them an extra thing that can do more control of the battlefield for them here, with special stuff that they don't have as much in the beginning, but as they continue to play, they gather more and more of these things, a more variety of things they could bring into a match. They can select them and use them. That's the goal. And I think with the help of some people that we bounced ideas off of, I think we've landed on it. Because while stones and amulet and pearl, marble, these were the ideas that sounded better and better, and I'm starting to think pearl. If you collect pearls, and the pearls are actually magical in this environment, then wait, match victory, did I actually do, was this a, oh right, this was not a campaign. Okay, so not in a campaign, I can replay or I return and it just goes back. I got experience for all that, but whatever. Instead, pearls. And I'm thinking this is like a bag of pearls that you have or something, but they are going to look different. They're going to look special. They're going to look powerful. They're going to, I mean, think Dragon Balls, but small. I mean, small things that you can gather and collect. Gathering. I mean, okay, let's talk psychology for 2 seconds. Most of what we've done so far is about combat, right? The core gameplay loop is battling. It's combat. It's taking these strange creatures and forces that are about power. We're dangerously close to power fantasy, right? I say dangerously close because there is a class of player that enjoys this stuff. This is all about battle and tactics and strategy and yay, right? Okay. Hunting. But what about gathering? And I don't mean to be too reductive about the psychology here, but there are other players who enjoy different things. They enjoy completing stuff, or they enjoy discovering all the things. They enjoy collecting all the things. Since we have been talking about a collection of stuff, instead of collecting a deck of cards, your own deck building game, well, we have cards. I don't want to confuse the issue. Instead, please, let's collect pearls. And this is so ripe for the idea of gathering, collecting. It is valuable. Pearls are valuable. Pearls could feel mystical, magical, even powerful in some way that I can see how that can happen. And so I'm going for it. At this point, until we find something better, we are able to gather pearls. We're able to collect special pearls that are, I don't know, magic in some way. I don't want to call them battle pearls. That sort of defeats the purpose of getting away from the whole hunting. The hunting thing is one thing, and this is contrast to that. This is gathering. But it does, in fact, allow the player to go into a quick play or go into a campaign match and decide which things they are going to bring with them. So I'm going to help these people? Sure, I'm going to help them. And right about now, you say, what do you want to bring into your match? You have these pearls. And it might just be one, or you might have none, actually. But if you have some, you can select which ones you want to bring in. And I think there's going to be a limit. Can't have all of them. Why? It has to do with how complex, how much complexity a human is comfortable dealing with. Uh, a good round number is 7 things. And if there's more than that, it gets a little difficult to manage. There's a reason I've been dealing with rounds where you have 3 cards, 4 cards, 5 cards. This is a reasonable number of things to manage. And in overtime, you have 8 cards, and that's a little bit overboard. It's almost reaching the limit of what the player should be comfortable handling, looking at all the cards, right? Well, then I might want to limit how many pearls they could bring into a match to affect the battle. First of all, this is reducing complexity, but it's also providing a constraint that makes them choose. And it doesn't sound like that satisfying a need, but in fact, the players do need some constraints. And the challenge of choosing is part of their needs as well. There's some method to this idea that we might limit the number of these special things you can bring into the match to affect the battle. You have to choose, and then you only have those when you bring it in. And you might be here in the battle and say, oh, I wish I chose this other one instead. I'll do that next time. You see what I just did? I caused the player to want to play again. So there's a reason for that. And so And so you may have gone through a couple of rounds and already used a particular pearl. Wish you had wish you'd brought in different ones into this match. Be thinking about different ways you could use, different times you could use the ones you have. Wanting some other pearl. By the way, the opponent it has to be even, so the opponent also has these things. In fact, it's a chance for players to understand that what these things can do and what their names are and the fact that they exist. This is a way to sort of expose more things that they don't have yet, but they could have if they play more. You see what I did there? So the opponent's also going to have these things. You may be in this stage now and realizing, I need to, I want to get these other ones, these other pearls that I've seen. I want to get them. I'm going to save up this good one. Okay, so I'm in overtime and I'm going to use the big one that I've been holding on to just in case. You know, this is kind of what these pearl collections are meant to be for. A reason to combine your understanding of the core gameplay, strategy, and tactics with a new layer of complexity, a new control you have that is provided to you by playing more, leveling up, and especially completing campaigns. A campaign is a series of challenges, and if you get through a boss, I don't want to just give you some extra experience. You've already gotten experience for the matches. I am thinking about giving a little extra, but that's not enough. I mean, why do this, right? It's the same as just grinding through quick play. But if you are guaranteed to get something really cool at the end of a campaign, now you got a really good reason to grind through. Hooray! Dr. Kimchi Plite has had to return the crown of the sun to the friendly villagers, and now the annual day of free giving is on. They're all very satisfied. Okay, good. So, in that way, I think we're good because we have a way now to save our data. I am going to figure out what's up with that win percentage stuff. We have a campaign, we have story, and we can reach the end of the campaign, which means now we're ready to, in earnest, develop this system of collections. Instead of a deck building game, we are now a pearl gathering game. We are going to be gathering these powerful pearls that somehow help us in battle. So, yeah, it is on, actually. Okay, first thing I want to do is look at the win percentage deal at the end of the match. The post-match pop-up has a win percentage that is not quite this. And the main difference is when I come back to the profile and look at this, I am not in a match, right? That's the big difference because this is a set number and therefore this win percentage can be a set number. I have a number of matches and some that I have won, and it's known and it's easy, and I just do the number and it's easy. When I'm at the end of a match, I'm actually showing the progress and it ticks up. So not only am I increasing how many matches you have played, I'm increasing that by 1, but potentially I'm increasing the number of matches you won by 1 as well. And I want this number to change in a way that looks like it's busy and ticking up, sort of like the experience already does. So I want to play with that because it's not doing that right now. And I realized I needed to really look at that. So let's do that. And then we'll look at the pearl thing. Okay, this is why. Here, let me transition a little bit. because this was the result of our brainstorming that we did, I don't know, a week ago. Like, what was this? This was, yeah, here we go. We did the brainstorming thing. So we started with, hey, we've got this core gameplay, and what can we do? Like, what is the reason to do this? And we were thinking about deck building and all that, yeah? Here's me talking about a progression or a path that became the campaign. Here's me talking about what the players ask. Who am I? Where am I? What am I trying to do? What's working against me? What is working for me? Before, we really didn't have a heck of a lot because there's just this core gameplay. You go into a battle, you throw your cards down, and you battle against an unnamed opponent. Well, we changed that by naming the opponent and giving you a story like, why am I doing this? Like, who am I and where am I and what is my goal is now super clear when you're in a campaign. When you're on a campaign path, getting to the boss now has meaning as well. The longer term goal is known. What's working against you? All of those matches. What's working in your favor? Well, now we're talking about the things you can collect. That was where we brainstormed on what might we do to extend the player's experience. In other words, they go through a core gameplay loop and that's it. I mean, they can do it again. And we said, that's not enough. What else can we do? And so we started with the question. We did divergent thinking, which is to say a bunch of ideas, and all ideas were good. Well, some were better than others. We stopped and then we converge thinking. We do convergent thinking, that is to say, negotiate, combine, and whatever, prioritize so that we come to the solution or the best answer for right now. And we did combine a bunch of these things. Score, leaderboard, those were downgraded. You see that? Who cares about score, right? But the highlighted ones, to unlock cards to build decks, well, that's changed, but the idea of collecting stuff is definitely there. A path with a campaign, a series of matches, that's definitely in place now. Trophies, medals, and leveling up, well, we definitely have leveling. Profile cosmetics, yes, we have that, yeah. To have animated finishers, ooh, that's a good one. Evolve the card stats. Well, that's part of what we're thinking about for these powers that you can do with these collectibles, right? And so when we got to the end of this, what we listed was, okay, we're going to do some deck building or some kind of collection, right? And we've changed that to say pearls. We're going to have to make a profile because we need to save data. So we actually did that first. We did that very, very early in the process. And, sorry, I used this program for other things. Okay. So we did this. Whoa. Drawing with my mouse. We did this early because we need to be able to save data, and we got that done. As we've moved forward, we've been careful to manage how we structure that data and keep our save files. A campaign path that kind of looks like this, actually, but on its side. Yes, we got that. With collection as a reward, that's what we need to do. And tougher AI, that's also something we need to do. So we're almost done with campaign, actually, because we can't really call this done until we collect something. Can't really call this done unless the boss is actually harder. So we're going to have to deal with that. And then this card evolution idea. Now this is sort of ordered. Notice that deck building, the collection is actually number one. It's because it's most important. We're working towards it. It is the most important, but we can't get there yet. We need, logically, we need to get these other things in place. But making the pearls such that we understand that different pearls have different powers and what those powers are and how it affects the battle and making sure it's balanced is a good, long, fun effort, actually, and I can't wait to get there. but it's worth looking at these other things. This number 3, card evolution. The idea that we can change what we have. And I think originally the idea was we evolve the cards in the core gameplay loop. So our battle cards actually could be supercharged or at least cosmetically more fancy. The finishers in combat more fancy, right? But to raise the stats, yeah, absolutely, right? So evolving the battle cards was kind of the idea. I think we talked about maybe you could evolve the collection things as well. The point being, the collection stuff is the stuff you keep. The cards in battle are just an assortment of things you get when you get in the match and then you leave them behind. So it's temporary. This is permanent. This is temporary. So to evolve something felt appropriate to do with the things that you keep. Well, I'm starting to think actually what we're talking about is the collection things do stuff like evolving cards. Um, I do like the idea of evolving the cosmetics of your stuff as part of a reward for continuing to play this game. Now it looks better. It looks better on the cards, it looks better on the finishers. You've unlocked a finisher. That's cool. The stats, however, this is like, I don't want to permanently upgrade stats on a card, on a battle card. That doesn't make sense, right? So I think what we're talking about are two different things here, right? Along with your profile and having customization of your profile and all that stuff, having cosmetic stuff in the game that can be upgraded. Like you can change the look of the battlefield, so it's not necessarily a walnut wood table, but it could be a sunny meadow or a hellish lava-filled hellscape, or an ice field or whatever, right? Rocky tundra or something, right? Grassland savanna, all kinds of things. An astral plane, something, right? To say you now have backgrounds that you can upgrade, I mean, that's not a big thing, and it definitely doesn't change the gameplay at all. But you might feel that that's cool. In the same way you might feel it's cool to have a different icon or a color, right? To say an animated finisher, I think that's totally worth doing and unlocking and stuff. It could be that, I mean, I'm not exactly sure how this is going to shake out, but I think that for sure, one of the ways that we can have these collectibles have meaning is to upgrade your stats on the battle cards when you're in a match. So pearls dedicated to supercharging a card can now supercharge your card and boom, or heal all of your cards or whatever. Right? But at the same time, this feels different. This feels like uh, there's a vanilla version of the game that can be added onto, and this feels different. There's something about this. I feel like if I were to prioritize these things, this has to come first. The part where we make the things that you collect have meaning. It's going to primarily be on the cards in battle. This cosmetic stuff I think is cool, but needs to come later. And so that's the priority of those things. And this thing I think is still what we're working on now, which is to say, this campaign is largely done. We have a node network. We even have a story grafted onto this. We have all kinds of enemies. but we don't really have a way of making the enemies tougher. And we do need to at least have the, you know, celebratory pop-up at the end. When you're done with the campaign and you go back to the main menu, a pop-up that says, wow, you got a special thing. I mean, and then we'll fill it in with whatever the thing is because we don't have that yet, right? So, yeah, that's our marching orders for today. I'm going to do the win percentage stuff, and then I think we could look at the tougher AI. Then we can do the pop-up thingy. Let's go. Yeah, let's save this. And I will transition. And just like that. The pop-up, the post-match pop-up has the a reflection of the win percentage that I want to play with because it's so special. Not only do all of the stats progress when it shows this thing, but it displays these things in a particular order. It's got a little timer in between and does these things in stages. So when it's here, there's an amount of time that it begins, there's a middle, and there's an end right here on this one stage, and then it moves on. And that's the problem. For example, when I say match progress, I'm talking about how many matches have you played? Well, there's only, again, there's three things to do: a beginning, a middle, and an end. And the only change is it goes from one number to a transition to the final number. And it's just ticking up one. How many matches have you played? Well, if you played 7, now it's 8. So really, I had to get creative with what's in the middle, and I decided to do some symbols. So it'll show you a number, and then it shows you this match victories, the banners. Here's the labels. Matches played. And it begins with just the number, and then it shows you these symbols to just sort of break up the number and show you a gap and show you that it's adding. And then at the end, it shows you that +1. I mean, it's literally all there is. So for matches played, I had to get a little creative about what it does, but I am timing this and showing it to you, not just in this stage, but within the stage, showing you the progress. And that's the key. That's why this, I mean, it's fun for the player to see progress and have it tick up, especially like experience. It's lots of numbers, very, very busy, actively, dynamically, kinetically ticking up, and it's fun. Little tiny hits of endorphins, Same thing here. We want to do the same thing with win percentage, and this is a problem because I have two numbers. One is that match number. I also want that to progress. It's hidden because what we're just showing in the win percentage is the final number. But what's hidden is this actual number that does eventually tick up 1. So there is an integer that is one number, and then it ticks up by 1. That needs to happen. But that's not all. This is actually a percentage, and it needs to do both. So I need to progress the matches from what it is to +1. And I need to progress the matches that you have won, potentially. This is what's weird. I might not even move this at all because you may not have won this match. Let's see. I may not have won this match at all. And if you didn't win, there's nothing for this number to do. But if you did win, I want it to change. That's what this is about. So, yeah, I need to redo this. in the beginning, I want to do the same thing, beginning, middle, and end, just like that. In fact, I kind of want to just copy this thing, and redo it, because I want to redo this because I know this is not correct. In the end, it does do a percentage, and it does print it out with a little percent sign. This number is a float, and it is properly doing the decimal number thingy. Yeah. I am tracking it here. Yeah, totally. So this is all fine, but the actual number needs to tick up, and I want it to be timed exactly the same way. So here we are. Yeah, here's me doing progress timer, and I think I just need to not do it that way. I think I need to do it this way. So I'm going to use this same structure, but I'm going to use that to do this instead. I'm going to pretend, actually I'm going to do this. I'm going to use the end. And I'm going to figure out how this might look better. This value was the number of matches to display. That's what we had before. And instead, I need to make a new one. So matches won over the matches played. Is that, I think. Matches start is what this is about. Yes, right. And I will go ahead and change that to say played. So now, we know we've played a new match, so at least this is going to be +1 for sure. Okay. It's basically going to be this when it's done, and that's what this says. This is going to count down from 1, and so this is the end, this is the beginning. So at the end, yeah, the number played is +1. That's true. And so, yeah, see, I'm already kind of messing it up because this should be played. Okay. And so let's move on. I'm probably going to abandon this altogether. I will hold on to it for now, but I will probably get rid of it. So, yes, and the number of matches won is going to be added to already, which is probably not what I want. Allow me to figure this out, because along with played being added to, we want to add to this one. Boy, yeah. It's equal that and added to, and it's really just incremented 1. I think we're fine. I should not use increment, but I'm just going to keep it. I think it's okay, because we definitely set it to something and increment. I'm good. Okay. But we only increment if we won. We definitely increment the matches, so we're good. Okay, this is fun. This starts with matches won over matches start, and this has to be, sorry, played. I don't need to say float, do I? This is a float. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, but I make it float, and it equals to floats. We're all good. Yeah. Okay. Starts this way, for sure. And so really, I only need to work on this. I'm definitely anticipating that I need to work on it, because both should tick up. I want this to be a busy resulting float with the decimal number and all that jazz. I want all this to be busy and good. I think this is good. I'm not convinced, frankly, that this is proper. Yeah. Yeah, I need to backtrack and ensure that matches 1 is an accurate count of the current matches 1, or is it the previous matches 1? Because we just finished a match, we may have won. Does that mean that this is representing what was or what is? I need to backtrack and find that out. This is absolutely how many matches you had played previously, not counting the one you just finished. That I know for sure. That's why I called it start. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying right here. Yes, this does need to be redone. That's what I'm doing right now. Thank you. Now, the way that I want to do this, and see what the way I did it here was, I just said, but the way I did it here was I want to actually use the progress timer. Again, it's counting down, so I use 1 minus to get a count up, effectively. And I want it to do that, because even though it's just incrementing 1, I want these numbers to change. I want it to be busy. So I don't mind if I basically convert these to floats and then float it to the next integer, if that makes sense. So let's do this. Let's say, first of all, give me some inverted progress. Yes, I need to invert the progress. This is a better way to make it look like it's ticking up because the timer is actually going down. Yeah, don't question the way I deal with my timers. Okay, but it's a value I can use, and therefore I am using it that way. It's trivial to just invert it, no big deal. Okay, so now I've got inverted progress that is going from 0 to 1, and it's doing it during this time, but right, it's actually between these times. So I need to do a little bit more. This should be going from 0 to 1, but it's actually going from this number to that number. Okay, math. I want to subtract this amount, and then I want to yeah, and you're probably wondering, why do you have these crazy numbers? This is golden ratio, the golden ratio. I prefer to use those rather than half or quarter or third. Oh, I do what I want. Thank you for asking. So, I need to subtract that amount, and then what's left over is this difference. Zero to whatever this difference is. Okay. I'm not subtracting. I'm saying divided by. So it's 1 minus this progress timer, but I know that I'm only here if the progress timer is between these numbers, right? So I'm actually ticking up from 0.3, whatever, to 0.6. I'm going to subtract that 0.3 so that it is actually 0 to start with, and it's going up to something, and that something is this amount. So this should now be 0 to 1 again. Fingers crossed. In fact, I should test that theory. uh, can I cheat this? Yeah, I can just hit pop up. Okay. I think. Do I have to play a game to actually test this? Ugh, I don't want to. Do I have to write code to make this? Ugh. See, I need to use the data that is on a profile in order to collect experience. So, in fact, yes, I do need to play. Do I? All I'm looking for is to see that in that stage of the post match pop-up, it is going between 0 and 1 in the middle. I think I could actually just click the pop-up. I think I could actually just do this. Should we test that theory? All right, let's go for it. Well, we saw some weird numbers, but this is the other logging thing. Where is my... There it is. Okay, this is a infinitely small number, which is not good. Oh. Okay, I need to convert some of these things to float. Why did this... Hold up. Good thing we test. Because I'm quite certain this never got called. If progress timer is more than this amount, then do that. Should I set else? Yeah, we're here. I guess less than or equal to in order to be accurate, but that still doesn't make sense. Why wasn't this called? If it's more than, do that. It is not less than or equal to... Oh, but it is... No. It needs to be less than or equal to and. It wasn't that. Is it less than that? No, it's not. So why wasn't this called? What? There's lots of things wrong here. Not the least of which was that infinitely small number. I want to at least ensure that this is called. Why wouldn't this be called? Actually. Value. I'm reducing this number from 1. And so 1 minus that, it's going to start at 0 and go up. Okay, that's true. And then I subtract them up. So it starts actually negative, which is not great, actually. That's terrible. What am I doing? No, I don't want to do that. Ugh, what am I doing? Well, it doesn't start at negative if I'm between these numbers. Okay, it's actually 0, which is fine. And it goes up to this amount, which is 1. Should be 0 to 1, right? It should be, actually. This difference is the total amount of this range between here. And if I take wherever we are inside this range and subtract that amount, I should be, this got to be 0 to 1. It's got to be. Why is this not called? Okay. Can I get any kind of, like, just tell me I'm here? Am I in the right place? Doing the right thing? Please. Right. And by the way, this, I think, I think this was almost useless. I'm gonna get rid of it. I only want to see these logs right now. Let's do this again. I am gonna play a full match because I am concerned I'm trying to test in a way that is not the same as what it's supposed to be. I need a one-to-one relationship between the test and results I want. Doesn't matter if I win or lose. I had a heck of a time chasing down a very rare edge case bug. It was the one where there's 5 cards, and the one on the left side, which ends up being on the bottom. These cards in this lane wouldn't move together. Long story short, it was voodoo. It had no relation to reality or math at all. I literally just hacked it together, and I've had to sort of memory wipe that so that I don't freak out on it because it still doesn't make sense. In fact, I want to stop talking about it. It's bugging the crap out of me why it even was a problem. Okay, let's see some progress. Oh, we're gonna win. Let's win first. Oh no, let's see some progress. So the test we're looking for is literally feedback in the console here when the post-match pop-up happens and it gets to the win percentage. We want to confirm that we actually have program flow that we can do something about. Why didn't those come all the way together? Oh, it hasn't. There's a delay between when an empty lane happens and lanes collapse. It has to do with the card who's stranded saying, wait, I want to get into the battle. Okay, so this did its thing. I know I don't have a win percentage of 0, so we have work to do. Okay, we see our little log, but I'm concerned that we're not seeing anything else. There we go. There we go. So let's collapse this, and now I should see a whole bunch of those. These, yep, okay. And now it goes from -1. What? This is wrong. Through 0. Oh no, it doesn't. I will uncollapse this. What was the order that this happened in? Here is where it starts, and give me a number. I'm exposing what the system thinks should have been happening. That will tell me what I told it to do. Wow. Okay, it started in a very bad place. Good to know, but terrible. And then it went up. Yes, it's going up. It started in negative and is going up, and it stopped soon after it got to 1. Not exactly 1. Not exactly -1, so to speak. So it started at, so it's in the wrong place, doing the wrong thing. Thank you. Good to know. I mean, that's why the numbers are wrong. This happened. Good to know. And this even did its thing, which is good. Okay, so this number is completely wrong. Let's try this again. We are counting down. That is true. Triple check. Yes. So, and this looks great. This is good and busy. I mean, this is kind of the thing I want to do, actually. Can I steal this? I mean, I'm not doing this, but I'm kind of doing this. In other words, well, let's try that actually. Float inverse progress because right, I didn't exactly use progress, but I am multiplying it, and this is progress right here, right? Yep. Sure enough, that is what that is. The award, well, I'm gonna have to look at what this is. Yeah, this is the start plus the award. Yeah. This is basically taking what worked in the previous, sorry, in the other um, display and using it to our advantage. So this, it's just, I think this is 0 to 1 now. Okay, I'm good. I guess we should. Yeah. Do another test. So let's see a better number, please. Um, no big deal. When people ask, hey, have you played this game or that game or the other game or the new game or the game? Hey, have you played that? I most often say no. First of all, there's just a infinite number of games and limited number of me and time and blah blah blah. Well, but also, man, the game I play most often is the game I am making. That has been true uh, since long before I did this for a living. So the thing we're looking for is post match. We want the logging to appropriately tell me 0 to 1, please, so that I can use that for our win percentage. I don't care if I win or lose, frankly. This account has wins and losses and lots of matches, so there should be lots of numbers to work with. I almost want to clear this up while it's going. Uh-oh. To produce this. Okay. Let's clear it. It's almost done. Okay. Okay, so there it was, doing its thing. Does not look like we went 0 to 1. Yeah, it did not, which makes me concerned about the other thing. Uh, yeah, I'm glad I'm testing because I'm starting to wonder about the other banner and whether that is actually wrong as well. This starts it. I'm gonna. No, that's. Wow. That's starting at a number that doesn't make sense. And it goes up. I mean, at least it's going up. Ugh, and stops at a place that doesn't make sense. Is it the same place that doesn't make sense, just offset by 1? It almost is. Wow, is that true? I don't like almost. Stop doing weird stuff. Oh, goodness. Okay, all right. No big deal. I definitely want to question this now. I mean, it's busy and I'm not certain that it is actually working. So ah! So the whole point of this pop-up is to be busy and noisy and to show progress as a chunk of thing, which is time and attention that we are drawing from the player to this so that they are more likely to attend to the progress. That's the point of it. That's why we're doing it. So this noisy, busy stuff that we're doing is necessary. It's just a pain, but okay. So let's review. Um, yes. Because we're questioning that. Okay, now I would like to figure this out and get it done. And I think um is this even, because we're converting the, I don't know why I have these in parentheses. We're converting this to a float, and we're converting that to a float. This is dividing, and so why should this be anything but a float? Yeah, it says the parentheses can be removed. Yeah, because this is all float, float. Float on top of float with float leading to a float. So why did it look like this was not properly calculated? Times a float minus float divided by a float. It's a float. Oh, and I round. Hold on. Round this. Hold on. Round that. And then make this a float. I don't need to do that, right? This is totally unnecessary, correct? Visual Studio is going to tell me this is completely unnecessary, right? It's not. It's telling me it is necessary. Oh, okay. First of all, that's significant, actually. Let's go to that and move on. This is still wrong, but wrong in a way that I'm now... Bruh. I want a 0 to 1, but it's going to effectively start at this number and end at this number. Therefore, take this and do stuff. Here, minus that number is 0. Here, minus that number is not 0. It's useless. Unless I take the result of subtracting this and divide. That's what I thought I was just doing. Isn't that exactly what I was just doing? Yes, it is exactly what I was just doing. Perhaps if I stare at this long enough, right? So if I say I'm going to get 0 to 1 if I eventually subtract this from this and use that as the denominator of a fraction, because this range is the range that I'm going to see this number at. I mean, actually, before I do an inverse, can I do this and see that exactly? Oh, bruh. Is this all I really needed to do? Mm. Mm. I am curious what state that algorithm is at, and I'm going to log it and move from there. I expect that I'm not done, but I do want to see where that is. And I don't want to guess. I don't want to analyze and hope that I'm right. I want to see the result. I want to test it and see it. Hey, system, you tell me what you think. Because it doesn't really matter what I think. Why? Science. Science, except I have to play 3 matches to get to a result. I do need to. I'm telling you, one of the things that I would do differently we haven't talked about what postmortems are all about, but one of the things I would change in the process that I've been doing, I would change spending more time on implementing cheats and shortcuts for testing. In other words, could I get directly to an overtime round from the beginning? Um, there's some code involved in that, and there's some time involved in that. I literally tried to do some of that this morning and gave up on it because it was taking far too long. But I would spend more time on that. I would design the systems to be cheated so that I can test faster and reduce this testing time, because the time saved is probably going to outweigh all the time spent making that happen. So I would do that differently next time. I would prioritize being able to cheat and test faster. So it ends at 0, which is wrong. But I saw something in between that was good. It is different. I am curious. Two. What are you on? I'm wondering. Progress timer. And then divided by an amount. That is curious. It is counting down, which I kind of expected, frankly. But it's counting down to a weird number and from a weird number. It is that same number. This is literally 1 plus the maximum. And this is not quite 2 minus the... I'm not satisfied with that at all. I'm certain this is wrong now, because yeah, no. I need to rethink this entire thing. Uh, sorry. I need to rethink the timing that I have in each of these things. To do a simple thing like just go tick up 1, it's no big deal. Apparently, it is a big deal when I do anything more than that. And I do it in a couple of places that is significant. I would like it to work. And I'm confusion. I did get a lot of work done this morning. I'm probably not fresh as a daisy right now. It's weird. It said it would start at 2. It's almost as if this range is not where it was. Is it less than or equal to the large number and more than or equal to the small number? This is... Yeah. My brain. What? Why? But. Okay, first of all, the number looked better here than it did here. I don't care what this says. If it says this is unnecessary, I don't care anymore because it looked better when it was here. At that part of the timing, it looked okay. It looked okay, and it looked like junk here. Sorry, the other way around. So, yeah, I am interested to find the solution here. I started with that, which made some sense. The timing, it works. The reason why I'm doing it this way, it works like this. There's a little bit of a delay where you have a moment to see what it was. This is necessary. To see the change, you need to have time to recognize what it was. We're going to also spend time on what it is now. That time is also significant. It started at a place, it rested at a place. Those times are significant. This is time when it should be active and moving. So I really, really, really only need to have, did I want to start? Actually, that's a smart idea. Let's go for it. Because this only needs to have those numbers changed and then display it. That's what this is, right? This doesn't even change it. It just figures it out. That's it. I'm going to figure it out. This needs 2. It needs what it was before. And it needs what it is now. As a matter of fact, let's do that. And use this as the start. And that is the start. Okay. Down. I don't know what this is yet. I need to know what that is, but I don't know what it is yet. Between one number and another is what we're thinking of. Right? And this is what it will be. Right? I want to replace this with something that will change because of this, right? It's only changing by 1. Can I get away with this? If I don't care about, I want the really noisy stuff. I don't just want this to be an integer. I want it to be the number that is calculated here to be floating between, pun intended, floating between 2 integer values. Because it is just 1, but I want it to be all of the values in between while it's in this amount of time. That's all I want. That's not too much to ask. I can do that, right? This is garbage. This is not working. This progresses, right? But perhaps I could say, I need to sanity check this. I am counting from 1 down to 0, correct? If it's more than 0, then count down, yes. Just sanity checking that. If that's true, for God's sakes, can you just please show me the inverse? At this point, what else could this be? It says, if you are. At this point, it should be saying you are 0.6 and then counting down to 0.38 or 4. In fact, I'm just going to do that. Just give me this. Well, because it's inverting, then it's going to say from point to, okay, so I want to just, literally, I just want to see that, right? This will change. It'll look like the display just goes straight up, and that's not satisfying, but it'll be, should be correct. Should be correct. It should be consistent. Whoops. Okay. We'll just play again. Boop, boop, boop. And the testing results should be a list of numbers in the console that go from the low number to the high number. That's all. That's all we're looking for. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it'll be something wildly different. It has been wildly different the whole time. Why should it be? Whoa, 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 whoa! What? These cards are in the same attack order. That should never happen. I have never seen that happen. Not since I implemented the shifting placement. I'm concerned. I had never seen that happen, and I hate edge case bugs that are so rare. They're hard to reproduce. I hate those. Okay. Darn it. I have not seen that before. Ugh. Rare edge case bugs that are hard to reproduce. Ugh. One of the reasons is because it is difficult to reproduce. If you can't reproduce it, you cannot fix it. You can't prove a negative if you think it's fixed. Boy. How could that be? Oh, I don't even want to think about that. I'm dealing with this bug right now. Thank you very much. I just got through another rare edge case bug, and I was totally clean until now. Damn it. So I'm going to have to go back and... Oh, I'll just file that away in the bug list in my head, and I'll keep an eye out for it, and I will look at it again later. Ugh, I wanted it to be clean. Damn. I am glad that I saw it. It is good to see bugs, because then you can fix them. I'm not happy that it exists, and I need to go chase it down, and I'm less happy that it's hard to chase down. That's all. No big deal. All right. It looked like something, and then it looked like nothing. Really? You gonna do that to me? Okay, let's look at the console. Let's see what this says. It looks like it ended on the high number. It looks like it started at the small number. Perfect. Well, at least that's working. Gosh. What we just saw was this telling us that this properly goes from the low number to the high number in the right time. Yay. Okay, we can work with that. We also saw it look correct here and then not look correct here, even though literally this is the same code. I mean, I cannot. Like, um, start here because it's counting down, and this is more, and this is in between, so this comes next. It is less than or equal to that, and it is more or equal to that, and this is less, so this should come last. Why did this look weird? It's the same numbers. Come on. I'm about to just quit and come back in because this is about where I say, hold on, is this going to be magically correct if I just restart? And I've seen that happen on rare occasions, so. Okay. Okay, so this is correct. That's good. This actually goes from this low number to the high number. Perfect. Excellent. Thank you. Yes. Good. Now, I would like you to actually look like 0 to 1. Can you do that? Can you do that? The inverse progress goes from this low number to the high number. Happy about that. Oh, I think I know why it was 0. Because we are in this stage or further, and while we are in this stage, we're doing noisy things, but once we are further, we don't actually calculate anything, so that makes sense. Okay. I know. It's me duplicating code. I know. I will clean it up someday. I don't care now. I'm just trying to get it to work. I will make it efficient later. Ooh. Okay. This goes from the low number to the high number. And I should be able to rely on that to make floats that represent, let's do this, the matches 1, making new variables. Cannot believe this. But please give me the 1 number. And the matches played. Give me a float of that, please. Played. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do something with that. I do need to do work on this, but I'm going to look at this. This is turned into a float, and that's good and magical because it's now able to do stuff in between two integers. Great. Please do. In fact, I know you might only be going up 1 here, and you are definitely going up 1 here. So yeah, this is literally matches 1 start, matches played start. This is, I mean, I'm just being as careful as possible because I'm so tired of not seeing this work out the way I want. I'm just gonna force it. So now this is this, because this is matches 1 progress, and we may have 1, which means it is more than 1, and so yes, and it has been incremented potentially. And this is matches played progress, and yes, I'm turning all these into floats because yes. Right. So now I actually have 2 floats to play with. And because they're floats, this is going to be easier, I swear. First of all, this. Well, this percentage now needs to be calculated using these 4 numbers. And, Berg. I'm going between these 2 floats. Okay, hold on. I need more variables? Are you joking? This is I'm so inefficient right now. It's driving me crazy. But I think I'm driving more crazy by this not working, so I'm gonna force it through and clean it up. Let's do this. Am I using M already? I sure am, because I'm using a mouse. Oh, more variable names, yes. Sure. Because this now can cruise around. This is going to be active. This is going to actually use this inverted progress as soon as I make this better. Because it will be a 0 to 1. Right? This 0 to 1. It's going to start this. Okay, this value is going to start at the start. Boop, boop, boop. And it will increase. Right? There is an amount to increase that is the final progress minus the start. Okay, we're getting this amount times this multiplier that's going to go 0 to 1. Yes. This is a noisy float now that will progress if it needs to progress. Aha. This is so... same pattern though, and as long as the pattern is correct, I should be good. And I do need to get the inverse progress to work and actually be 0 to 1. By the way, this is a multiplier, not a plus. Be careful, dude. So you do start at a float. You're going to add some float. And this is float minus float times a float, so it's all float. Good. This is good. Okay, I was about to drive myself nutty if I didn't do that. So this is saying if you are more than or equal to win progress, then do some stuff, like show this banner. But while we're in it, we're doing active things. And so I need to do special calculations here. If we're not in it, I just need to do this. I don't always want to do that. I want to do it if we're not in the middle of it. Yes. Okay. This is so inefficient. This code is just ridiculously inefficient, and I need to ignore that because I just need to get this done first, and I will fix it later. I will make it more efficient later. In fact, the whole thing's going to be refactored. I'm more upset that it doesn't work. Okay. So this should be good. This is definitely ready to be used. And this is almost there because it's going from this to this. Oh, math. Why? If I'm going from this to this, and this is considered 0, and this is considered 1, okay, how could that be? It could be if we, gosh, I'm thinking the exact same numbers that I used before, and I know those are incorrect, so I want to be careful. If we divide this number by something, it should be able to take the amount that it is between these two numbers and understand that it's a percentage of the way to the maximum. Okay, sounds logical. And I'm tempted to find out what that might be. It's not 1. Because if it were, let's pretend that we're talking about like going from 0.25 to 0.75. I would subtract 0.25 and then the value would be 0.0 or sorry 0.0 to 0.5, and then I would say great, now just multiply by 2 and I've got 0 to 1. Oh, so if I subtract this amount and then I multiply, not divide, well, in a way, multiplying by 2 is like dividing by 0.5. That's why I'm confused, because I'm not realizing that's the same thing. If I subtract this amount, then the maximum is this minus that. So if I divide by that maximum, it should be 0 to 1. And I know, I've made this so crazy, stupid. Ugh. But let's see if it's even close to being right. Who knows? Our test is that the logging to the console will show us 0 to 1. That's the test. Can I get that to happen again? Perhaps I had moved the mouse out of the area fast. It sounds so unlikely. It does all this calculation within the span of a frame. It's not like I can duck out in the middle of a frame render, in the middle of a tick. That doesn't make sense. I mean, it just doesn't. And the only other alternative to preventing cards from being in the same attack order, or whatever, battle order, whatever, is to actually do a check, an extra check that they aren't, and make a decision about which should come before the other, which, ugh, no. It's the player who should be deciding things, and why the heck isn't my code already ensuring it's working? You know? All right, let's see. Okay, so that number ticked up and stayed there, which is good. This went up just beyond 1, and it started at 0. Good lord, did this just work? See, we did all the other stuff, and I was working on one last thing, and perhaps that was all it needed. This, and I can now uh, condense that code. But this actually did go 0 to 1, and therefore this did its thing. This was noisy, as it should have been. This is so bad. I would, you know what? I'm not even gonna touch it. It's terrible. This is so bad, but I'm just gonna leave it there because yes, it worked. But what I do want to know, I mean, seriously, this was incorrect down here, like big time. I want to use this now. What I think is the start of your experience points plus some amount of the extra awarded is incorrect based on this trying to do progress, and that's wrong. Instead, no, 20 parentheses. Oh, it's just empty. That's all. Instead, I need to say inverse progress, right? No, this is an integer, and I am casting it as a float, yo. It needs to be that. Oh, you're saying I'm resulting in an integer, and that's unnecessary? Maybe it is, actually. By graying it out, Visual Studio is telling me this is totally unnecessary. If I hover it over it, it tells me it's unnecessary. But actually, yeah, because I am going to make sure this result is an integer and add it to that so that whole numbers tick up when it does this. Okay. Hey, more than or equal to the progress award, you're here. While you're in progress, you do some stuff else. This is straightforward and simple. You simply add those numbers. This, when it's more than, it's start. When it's the less than or equal to, it's here. Oh, if it is less than or equal to that, and more than or equal to that. And this is, I'm just noticing that because my pattern up here said so, said the same thing. More than that. And then this is two ands, and the equals are there, and then less. And so I'm going to do the same pattern here. Yes. Okay. So what is this? Why is this here? This is wrong. What is this? Bruh. In fact, I should be able to say else. Do I say else? No, but I should. Okay. Else if. Why is this here? What is this? I must have just forgotten this was here. That is like not right. That was not right. Start, progress, done. Yeah, that was totally not right. Wow. Okay, that's been wrong for a long time then. I mean, at least a couple of days. Yes. That's good. All right. Wow, how many other places did I get this wrong? I'm gonna look through all the places where I do this progress thing and see if I can fix it, just in case. Just do that symbol. And that's progress. This is level. Actually, those stay the same. Okay. Okay. In other words, I don't think this was doing the right thing at the right time. I mean, should we test that theory? I think it's good. I think it's good now. Which took so much longer than I wanted it to. Hey, what are we going to do about the AI? What are we going to do about the pearls and things that we wanted to do? Well, okay. The AI actually is not rocket science. First of all, the AI that's running now is very simply taking an advantage when it's obvious. Otherwise, it's doing a random move. The obvious advantages to take have to do with the card values, the stats on either have a low value of 3 or 2 or 1. And so it tries to get rid of the low ones. And I say it tries to because I only gave it space enough to get rid of 2 of them. And then it will randomly pick other cards to throw down. And by that, I mean it actually does the first cards that it's been dealt. So this AI is super stupid, but it's even a little better than just being completely random. So we're already doing a little bit of AI. It's just not very sophisticated, has room to grow, and can absolutely be nerfed as well. In fact, we could go as far as making our AI make bad decisions on purpose, which is often done in order to make games fair. We often introduce error. So having, for example, our easiest AI have a chance of making a bad choice intentionally is a thing. We could actually do that. The code to do this quick AI is actually super simple. I'll show you that in a second. But let's just marvel at the glory of our post-match pop-up, shall we? Let's see if we win this. If we win this, I'd like to win this. Oh, come on now. Oh. Okay, one more round. But I kind of want to try and make that bug happen again because I swear I've never seen that, and that means it's so darn rare. It's gonna be hard for me to find it again. I'll have a better chance analyzing the problem than I will observing it, which is never good. That's just not good. Okay, let's marvel at the glory of the post-match pop-up, and then we will look at some AI. The idea of the post-match pop-up is to be like, hey, I finished. Did I progress? And then, purring, 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 yay, look at all the good stuff we got. That noisy progress. That's the point. Progress? Pop-up? What happened? Wait, what? Wait. What? Why didn't that pop up on its own? What happened? Why didn't that pop up? I'm trying to think through all the conditions it needs in order for this to be triggered. It comes from the save load manager. I believe oh, were we not logged in? We shouldn't have to be logged in for that though, right? Okay, this looked noisy. That was fine. This ticked up. I believe this is correct. Although I'm wondering how come I didn't. Oh, we didn't cross this threshold? Literally? Hold on. Wait. Oh, right. We're not logged in. So there's no level. There's no. Wait. Okay. 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 No. Okay. All right. No. I do need this. Otherwise, I'm not going to see progress. When we say this, sorry, guest, and it says your data will not be saved. We are telling the player you can't actually get progress, so you just play around and that's it. Okay. All right. Sanity. I swear I've probably been at it too long. I've been for probably 8 hours now. I guess I'm tired. Okay. All right. All right. But it did look nice. I did see the progress, even though it was bad data. The display of that data was nice. So good. Let's talk AI for a second. When we play this, we pick cards, and the other side has already picked cards, right? The AI is literally one function in our script for the prototype. We have post-match pop-up is good. Hello. Stories. Oh yeah, I've been tweaking this just a little bit to correct like typos and grammar, punctuation and such. Okay. Quick AI. There it is. I literally call it because we're going into a round, and I just ask this to fill in the cards that will be played, and it puts it on the table. Here's the function. You're going to be shocked that it's this small. That's it. That's the whole thing. That's it. we take the advantage of removing one or two of the lowest cards. This is because in the beginning there are 5 cards in your hand and you're only going to play 3. In other words, take out the worst 2. How do we find the worst 2? Literally lowest value and the second lowest value. We add up the values of the stats. We add them all up. It's a total number, and that will tell us effectively if it is. I mean, this is actually old. This is before we even rebalanced the card stats. Actually, this still works, but it's old. So literally just add up all the numbers, and the lowest number, yeah, we're not going to use that one. The second lowest number, we're also not going to use that one. And so of the rest, just take the first ones, as long as it's not those 2 low ones, and play those. Play it in that order. Go ahead and set a random marching orders. And I believe somewhere around here, we should also be setting a random formation. I guess we're not doing it here. This is just the cards to play. And I think elsewhere I actually say to set the formation randomly. Yep. And this is to say, while it is not the same, so just basically shuffle. Shuffle the placement in the lane. And the formation, yeah, that's it. And place it on the table, it's done. So, random formation, that is to say shuffled, the given order of cards, which is also shuffled because it's literally from the shuffled deck, and a random marching order. So it's all random except for removing the worst 2 cards. Now, that's great in round 1. In round 2, that's less great because there are actually 7 cards in your hand. And you might remove the worst 2, but you should also play, you should play 4 cards. And so we really should be taking out the worst 3 to be the best. In fact, this is a fairly simple way to dial up and down our AI. If we remove 1 low card, we're doing pretty good. If we remove 2 low cards, we're doing great. When we have more than, if we have extra cards, right, then we could remove 3 from the potential cards we play, which would work for rounds 2 and 3, right? When you have 4 cards to play or 5 cards to play, you actually have 3 cards you are not going to play. And so it would be to your advantage. This is what I mean by opportunistic AI. It would be to our advantage to understand we need to actually remove 3 cards. So potentially we could have smarter or dumber AI if we, let's make this a to-do item. How do I say the word that means we can dial it up or down? This is tunable, I suppose. Tunable AI configuration by allowing removal of low cards. And the detail is remove 0 is dumb. Sorry. Bad. Remove 1. 1 is better. Removing 2 is good. Okay. Removing 3 if the current round is more than 1. Because if it's round 1, you have to play 3 cards and you only have 5. So you can't remove 3 cards. Okay? Otherwise you can. And so this is great. And I think that's all we got, because in round 3, you are dealt 5 more cards. That means you have 8. You still have to play 5 cards. You can only remove 3. Okay. In this way, we have 4 levels of smarts in our AI, because even without doing anything else, we're going to have a player who can't think about not playing a dumb card, a relatively dumb card. I mean, we could get better at this. The better AI would be doing a little bit more opportunistic things, like prioritize ones with decent health, prioritize ones with decent power, so you can do damage and take damage. Prioritize ones with decent defense, because you can absorb damage before your health. In fact, health and defense kind of go together. Right? That would be a different AI. I don't know if it would necessarily be better. Because at minimum, all cards do at least 1 point of damage no matter what, regardless of what their defense is. And if you have a whole lot of power, you don't necessarily need a lot of health, because you can deal a heck of a lot of damage. If you have crappy speed, you're not going to go first, and you may not get a shot at it. I mean, there's reasons to have all of these stats. This is what makes the gameplay in the first phase of our core gameplay interesting. It's because there is a reason for all of these stats to exist. But different players, different AI that we have could prioritize different stats. I would just suggest that without health, you can only take so many shots. It doesn't matter what your defense is. Well, it does, actually. This is a hard one, because even with all you have is luck, and you have crappy health and crappy defense and all that stuff, it doesn't matter, because if you have really great luck against another card that does not have good luck, when they knock you down and you're about to die, you have a good chance of turning it around. You have a decent chance. You have a chance of turning it around, and it doesn't matter what their health is, they will die. Now, you can really only do that so often because your health is reduced to 1. But I've seen cards do multiple luck wins, which is insane, but I've seen it happen. And so, again, there's a reason for all of these stats to exist, which is why just this adding it up was good enough. Okay, well, this is at least one way to dial up or down our AI. They could be good, they could be bad, better, good, or great. And isn't that convenient? We're going to have 4 stages in our campaign, actually. Huh. I would also like to dial up or down our AI based on how experienced the player is, and so we should take a look at their experience and level and such. That would be good. Which would give me more reason to look for proper ways to. I would want to find more opportunities the AI could take so I could have more advantageous AI. That way, it's not just bad and random, but it goes up further than this. This is great, kind of, but it still has a whole lot of random in it. And if I have more intentional opportunities that I take, that's better and better and better. And I could have more than 4 levels of AI. I could have more. I should review that. Uh, okay. In card selection, right? Because that's really all we're talking about. We could talk about advantageous formation and blah blah blah, but I think we're gonna have to have more um, experience with our own game, frankly. um, I need to know what those opportunities are before I can call that a reliable way to make our AI better. And so I will. Okay. So this right now just does 2, and it always does 2, and that's fine. It's safe. But I think this is the way that we would make our AI dumber or like worse or better. At least have 3 levels right now, but we could implement a 4th and say that's only going to be implemented if we are in round 2 or 3. And that sounds fine. All right. Well, now, AI, um, getting the post-match pop-up to look good, and the pop-up that we wanted to have happen at the end of a campaign. Right? That was the 3 things we wanted to look at today. I think we can do the AI, excuse me, the AI. And I'm confident that's really just going to be a modification of the AI that's already there. Another variable, find the 3rd least card and prevent it from using that as well. I think that's reasonable. Okay. Quick break for me. And then we'll do this. Okay. Okay. Just like our post-match pop-up, where it tells us good things about what we achieved that match and how much experience we got and all that jazz. Finishing a campaign has something else. Well, it's something similar. We are going to award additional experience for Doggo when Doggo completes the challenge against Mr. Vinegar. Okay. Because Mr. Vinegar, well, the little people of the North are frustrated because Mr. Vinegar is refusing to give back the finest ruby gem, and the Holy Prayer Day is almost here. And when I help them, and when I defeat Mr. Vinegar, I will get the resolution of the story, and it will generate a new campaign, and it will go back to the main menu. So at this point, I would like, well, should it be here? Actually, maybe it should be here. You know, maybe it should be here, in fact. So you come back, it says challenge complete. It gives a resolution to this story, and you say happy to help. And it was just going away at that point and going back here. I definitely thought coming back here was a good idea because we are going to regenerate the campaign. And it feels less than satisfying if this just recycles right in front of you. So I kind of wanted to hide that. Yeah, that is still important. Maybe this is true. Okay, so for now, I'm going to put this pop-up here. I will make it a separate script so that I can move it if I change my mind. How about that? But like the post-match pop-up, I need that progress to be celebrated, noisy, a big deal. Likely, it's going to include these things. Likely, the collectibles are achieved that way. I think you can also achieve them by gaining experience. Wow, now I'm wondering where this needs to be because the whole point is we're going to be able to collect stuff. We've got the data we can save. We've got a reason to collect it because you achieve this stuff. And so now here we go. So am I clear on exactly when this happens? If it only happens on a campaign, sure. I mean, if it happens on a campaign, that makes sense, actually. That's why you would defeat a boss. You've gone through some progress. You should get something big and special, and yes, right? But is that the only way you get those? Shouldn't you also just perhaps, perhaps, if you've gotten to a certain level, you get to level 5, shouldn't you just get one? What happens if you complete a campaign and that gets you to the level 5 plus you complete the campaign? Should you get 2? Oh, now I'm not sure. For now, I'm going to leave this because we definitely like the idea of collecting something at the end of the campaign. So I'm going to do it for here. I'm going to do the end campaign pop up here on the main menu, and it's going to be all about the pearl. Fine. Fine. We have a pearl yet? No. We're going to do that later. But it's going to be great. And if later we decide it's also happening here, I guess we can make a decision about how that works. And it could be that, you know what? Next time you come back to the main menu, we'll do the same thing. And we'll explain, well, we don't need to explain why you got it. We just need to say you found one, right? There's actually quite a few things we can do with this collection process, regardless of what they actually are or what they do. The getting them has a variety that is interesting as well. Reach into the bag and pull out one of the pearls, and it's, or pull this lever and watch the slot machine go, and here's what you get. Or open the present, and it's a magical thing. It feels random, and you're not sure what you're gonna get. Okay. There's part of this process that's going to involve how we present the acquisition of a pearl. That's going to also be part of our design. So let's make the pop-up. Okay, it's going to be here. It's going to be in our main menu. And until I say otherwise, that's where it is, and that's what it is. So, okay. Collectible acquisition. The name. I'll call it collection pop-up. Okay. I know. Yeah, we don't have them yet. I'm not even sure how to organize the data of those things yet. All I know is that we have a scene called collection. We have an interface item called collection screen. And so we're also going to have an interface item called collection pop-up. In the end, might all be Perl. That's fine. But yeah. Okay. So, same as the rest of our scripts for the interface, we're going to have a pattern that we use in displaying GUI items, for sure. You know that. And I know it's private, but it's private by default. We don't need to. Whatever. The special collection acquisition. I'm going to get real technical with that number, or with that verbiage. Yeah. Otherwise, it's actually going to be a copy of what's going on here. The post-match pop-up really does have a lot of everything going on. And I don't need to go to any other scene, but yeah, this really is going to be a carbon copy of what we were doing there. Sounds good. To be consistent. And maybe the reason why we have this here is to go through steps and time each step. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced exactly yet that we need to. It could just be, bing, you got this done. It's just one step, so I don't think there is much. And in fact, it might be nice to have the variety where while this is right, that rhythm is reserved for post-match, but this is pow and explosion of confetti and good stuff because it's different. I like that variety, actually. Do we need to have the save manager? I wonder if we do, actually. Not convinced we do. This is for knowing whether or not we are defeating a challenge. Progress time, initial time. Yeah, I don't think we need any of that stuff. I think we just need to format a GUI. I think we just need to format some text and stuff. I think we just need a little bit of this. I don't think we need all this. A subset, if you will. Do I need to confirm or validate stuff? You know what? I don't need any of this, actually. I reserve the right to change my mind. But for now, I think that is actually done. Yes, we are going to pop up or not and do stuff. I think we have a timer. In fact, this might actually just be here. I don't know that we are doing anything over time. Blah, blah, blah. We're not doing any of that. So this now is our pattern. In fact, I also want that because I want to track the mouse. And we have a pop-up box, so I will take all of that. In fact, I'll just take this folder and block. Thank you. Oh, I figured out a new way to do this, actually. You know what? Let's test that theory because it's a theory about how to do that better and faster. Right now, this is super inefficient because I'm just drawing this box twice. Yeah, no, I should not be doing that. Instead, I should be doing other things. So let me test that. Okay, so here we have the pattern that we normally do and the good position of a pop-up box. And that's good. Our title of the box I don't know what it is yet. But it is supposed to be a big thing. So I'm just going to say surprise for right now. Do I need to mention? I might as well. Why not? Who cares? I figured out a nagging bug with my labels and text fields on the login pop-up, and I narrowed it down to me doing this pattern incorrectly. I was doing this, which looks the same, acts the same, but oh no, it is absolutely not the same because as we have seen before, this will actually do a copy. It is actually explicitly saying new, and C++ programmers will recognize this is making new memory. It is a copy of an original that is, yeah. This is referring to an original, and it directly refers to an original. And the stuff I do to this is then saved on the original. So I was messing with bad stuff I shouldn't have been messing with. And long story short, stick to your patterns, kids. Check your corners. Stay in school. All right. So, okay. I think we're good, actually. Let me get the button as well. The button that is centered. I'd like that, please. The button that is centered. The button that is centered is this. Okay. So if the button is pressed, do a thing. Yeah. I like patterns. Okay. So, do a thing. But I'm probably going to get rid of the pop-up. That's probably one thing I'm going to do. Sure, I do more than that, but maybe not. I mean, literally, I'm not sure I do more than that, but I will find out. So, okay, this says click the pop-up button, pop-up pops up, and surprise, and says things. Oh, it needs to say things. Right, not only does it need to say things, but we're probably going to display image. So we'll have to think about that. Yeah, let's see. This says I'm just going to draw a box under a box, and that way it's less transparent. It's more opaque. That's dumb. Can't you just make this background more opaque? I think I can. I think I can. Here's the background, and I could make it an image because it is a texture. There are functions I can take from textures. Functions like get pixels, which is very helpful because I can just grab all of the pixels and mess with the color. Okay, I actually need to do an operation on a texture. So let me try this. Texture. This is a distraction. Totally a distraction. Should I just test the box first and do this? Yeah, I should. Test the silly box, would ya? At some point, we're going to get sound in this thing, too. Okay, so here I am in the main menu, and no, bruh, I don't even have a. Put the script on the object, would you? Okay. Try again. Yeah, I think I am tired. It's silly because it's like bright and sunny outside, and I'm like lagging. Yeah, totally lagging. Okay. See, like this, I am doubling up on the box in order to make this dark enough so it doesn't conflict with the bright stuff that's behind it. Yeah, I need a better way to do that. So, okay, so here we are in the main menu and the pop-up. There we are. And in fact, oh, this is behind all the elements. I want you to be in front, please. Thank you. And now that you're in front, now you can see why I want to darken this. First of all, this title is just dropped in. Go big or go home. In fact, I do want to make sure this is big enough, and then I probably want to increase the padding in this thing. But that I do. There we go. So we have some room to display a thing. In fact, we probably don't need it to be that big. This is going to be a pearl, but I might need to describe what pearl you got and how cool it is. And oh yeah, I need to disable all these other buttons from doing their thing. Okay. I can do that. This is the menu script looking at the pop-up. See that it is popped up and disabling all that. Okay. Do that. And if I ever move this pop-up out of the menu, I will have to change that. Right. Okay, this is good. I'm fine here. More of this. This is not being messed with yet. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm definitely misclicking all over the place. So, all of that highlighting happens because of this pattern that I do over and over, and I just need to say, hey, main menu should know about the collection pop-up thing. Because this is a thing that I want you to pay attention to, menu. It says, oh, really? I have no idea about this thing. And you say, well, you should know about it because it's so good. Don't you want to know about this main menu? It sounds great. Yes, I would love to, it says. So we help it. See how helpful we're being? This is colpop equals. Go find this thing, please. This is, oh, see, look at Visual Studio helping me. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Thank you. That's exactly what I want. Thank you. I'll just double check that you're not doing bad things. I will make this false if this thing doesn't exist. And this will help me remember, by the way, if I do move this out of the main menu, this error will remind me, oh, that's right, I did all this stuff in the main menu to work with this pop-up. So I need to undo that. Okay, that's helpful to me as well as, you know, I guess anyone else who's somehow reconfiguring this game. Okay, whatever. Good. This is here. It will exist for sure, and so we can use it now. If this... Okay, so if this is true, then we do not want to highlight, right? Because if the pop-up is up, right? So if it's not true, then it's okay to do the highlighting. In other words, only do the highlighting if this is not true. Highlighting pattern, activate. There it is. Do this if that pop-up is not popped, right? And the current button contains the mouse position. That's what that is. So I'm just going to do that over and over because patterns are good for me and good for you. Okay, so this is enabled in terms of the element. In this case, this element, the campaign button, could have been disabled. Like the profile button could have been disabled. This is because you didn't log in with an account. That is proper. Oh, right. This is no longer called deck. This is called. I like that we're calling them pearls. I know I've talked about a hook before, the idea that you present the audience with something that sounds familiar and yet poses some questions they must pursue and find a resolution to. They will get frustrated if they don't get a resolution. That's a hook. Okay, so we go from the splash. We check out the main menu. main menu knows about the pop-up. And while we can absolutely highlight normally, if this be popped, we cannot highlight. In fact, these should be disabled. So I highlight my own way. This is an extra highlight that I probably I'll leave it alone. But this is my way of highlighting, and I'm going to keep it. This is not called replay. I'm going to say OK. And I'm probably going to want that to be bigger. Let's start formatting this. I think this is the only time I actually say OK on an alert. Did I say that? There we go. There we go. OK. I can go even bigger on that camera. It's going to be a special thing. It should be big, right? Should you find it? We need to explain what pearls are, I suppose. So, I'm down though. By saying it's a big deal, you know. I what? Okay. Somehow click the button. Hold on. Can I click these? I should be disabling these because I can still click it. Done. Okay. 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 This is why we test, yeah? So when the pop-up is up, yeah, you can pearl. It's good. It's good. It looks big and bold and all that stuff. This is no longer highlighted, but I think more importantly, I need to disable all of this. Alright. Will do. The main menu has a title and then button, and a leaves. And so while it's drawing the buttons start to finish, I need to say GUI disabled. I do this special for these buttons already. Now we're going to wrap all of them in the same thing. If this is disabled twice, it doesn't matter. So that should be safe. We already did this, so this is up. And we're saying this. We say title is good, legalese is good, here are the buttons, and boom, the whole darn thing. If collection pop-up is popped, then this is now disabled. And I'm going to scan through. It's disabled through this whole thing. Disabled, disabled, disabled. You are not able to do any of these things. You can see them, but they are grayed out. You cannot click on them. You cannot hover over them. Well, actually, yeah, you can't hover over them. That's true. Not even my special way, because I have already disabled that. And just to square that circle, I will ensure that we are enabling it again. This GUI is a instance that hangs around in the game, and we can do these things to it during this function on GUI, but it sticks around, and so I'm making sure that it is re-enabled at the end. So oh, what the what? Did I not save? What the what? Did, did, I just did this. Menu. What? Why? This should be disabling all the buttons. It is not. I can still click on this. That is incorrect. And I am confusion. Collection pop is pop. And this is this condition, which is true. And so this should be run. And it says GUI enabled is false. And that was a sanity check. Then, in other words, I'm not crazy. You're crazy. Do we say GUI enabled? We say false. Do we say GUI enabled true? Oh, here it is. Okay. If not, call pop. Pop. Okay, so this makes sense. Where else do we say that? So we say false. Do we say true? We do. Do it again. And this is a bit clunk, a bit difficult, a bit fidgety. But welcome to user interface programming. It is often dismissed as stuff that you're just going to do later. It's no big deal. Just throw it on. It's all. No, user interface programming is often some of the most difficult, and it needs to be the most robust as well because users do weird things. It is so easy to dismiss user interfaces, and it is most important. Let's just point out that if your interface is broken, your system is a brick. Your users cannot use it. What good is a game if you can't access it, read it, etc.? That is true. If you break that loop between user and system, you are screwed. But also, users do weird things. It's tricky. They need to see stuff. There's just so much to it. Okay, well, we fixed that, and that's good. So now when we do the pop-up, we cannot accidentally click out of this. All we can do, the only thing we can do is confirm the alert. That's good. Excellent. This means that Perls, if there is more stuff, it's not a surprise. We cannot miss it. If you are in this screen and you cannot do anything else but see this big old thing and read it, good. Man, do I need to make this fully opaque? I mean, I'm going to have a hard time reading anything here. It's kind of nice that I can see through it, but it's so much less important than. So much less important than actually seeing and knowing the thing that I'm trying to tell you. I can make it darker and darker and darker. Literally, I'm drawing 3 boxes. This is how stupid this is. That's like the minimum that I would need to make it more opaque in order to have the kind of readability that I want here. I'd even want more than that. Man, just give me a full black texture, right? I think that's exactly what I want. Um, I think that's exactly what I want. Let's try this. Just draw one box. But, and that's already more efficient, and I'm glad. But this is why I'm having this problem. This is why I'm going to spend some time on this, because if I just draw one box, it is designed to be see-through, and good Lord, look at that. It's like, no. I have good readable text with high contrast, and therefore, if I put this little gauze in front of it, that's not good. That's not enough. So let's do this again. Hey, background, please be a black texture. Wow, that did nothing. Oh, because this is an image. Because this is an image of that box, and it is multiplying color, and black is a 0. So it's multiplying by 0, and all the color goes bye-bye. If I say white texture, does that mean that I get full color? Interestingly, yes, and it is fully opaque. However, it is a white texture. Okay. All right. I'm going to play with this color now. First of all, I could just ask the GUI itself to take on color. And this is one of the things that I like about this really simple early system for GUI. This is just straightforward. I can now play with this. First of all, this text color needs to be white, by the way. It should never have stuck onto. I know why I did that. For the post-match pop-up, I actually flash it, and so it does need to have a special color tint. But this, you know what? So let's start with white, but I'm going to adjust it. Let's take out all of the red, for example. Oh, all the things are going to be this color then, and that's probably not correct, including this button and all of that. So that's not exactly right. I don't think I want that color for the thing anyway. I am getting tired. I'm absolutely getting tired. Okay. This, in other words, GUI can be white after this, and that will be fixing it for all the subsequent elements. Yes, but but this thing, yeah, see, but this thing, I now want to make special and cool and yet consistent. Shall we start with? Well, yeah, really, why isn't this? If I say black, it's multiplying the original texture image, which I thought was just going to be this image. Okay. Okay, let's just play with RGB for a second while I think about this. Because if I do this, I don't think I'm making it invisible. Should we test that theory? I think that alpha is still here. In other words, B fully opaque. I can't see through it, right? But gray? Well, you are gray. And I cannot see through you, so yeah, actually. Okay, good. Does that not mean that I could, like, make it very dark, if not black? So the thing, when I said background color black texture, it gave me nothing. Okay, this works. Um, this looks similar to the other pop-ups. I would dare say it's a little too bright, but it is close. We'll talk about golden ratio at some point. It happens to be one of my favorite hacks to getting cool designy looks. And there it is. This is nice and dark. This is a good dark background. It is opaque. Yeah. Hey, where's our text color? Why is this not white? Because the entire thing is black? Oh, you are driving me crazy here. The text box is an item that is meant to be drawn with text on top. And so there is contrast between the image used in the background and the text color. However, I am saying make everything white and then color everything gray. And so I don't see anything. And I'm still not going to see anything if I do this because this made it go away. Correct. There's the text. I don't know now. I want to tweak this. I mean, literally what you do is you have your own style of text boxes and buttons and everything. And this default stuff is left behind. I'm not ready to go do a whole bunch of art. Oh. Instead, damn. Instead, I'm going to do this stupid, and I'm going to come back and figure this out another time. I am tired, and it's only because I woke up early and did a whole bunch of other stuff, and then said, oh, I'll just stream too, no big deal, and now I'm fumbling around, and it's not fun to watch, and it's goofy, so I'm done. Okay. The idea is we're going to be in an account that is saving data, and therefore, when Doggo decides to be adventurous and go on a campaign and defeat Mr. Vinegar, for example, they do so and come back here, and at that time, because they completed a campaign, you find a pearl, and it becomes a big deal, and we say, wow, I got this, and you can't get out of this until you say, okay, and now this is here, and you can see what you got. The pearls will do great things in battle, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to have to work on more things later, but for now, there's lots of stuff still to do, but at least we got some things going, yeah? All right. I think I'm good. I think you're good. think everything's good. And I could probably do more. I could probably slog through it. But why? I don't need to. You don't need me to. Remember, you're good. Okay, okay, okay. So, yeah. I think maybe I'm just gonna duck out of here. Okay. Bye.